Hello and welcome. I was trying to get YouTube to connect, but it looks like it doesn't want to connect, so that's fun. I'm gonna have to figure out what the fuck is going on with that in a second. In the meantime, no, I can download this after, that's fine. So sorry YouTube. Rip. Hi Greffer, hi Hyper, welcome in. Welcome in. We're gonna be reading today once again. It's fun. It's a fun time. It's a gay time. This is really unfortunate because I usually multi-stream these streams, and it's I can't do it right now. So I think I have to redo. Oh God, it's because I uninstalled and reinstalled OBS and I thought everything would be fine, but of course no, everything's not fine. Nothing's fine when that happens, but on the surface it looked fine. But of course, life is more difficult than that. But yeah, we're gonna start reading soon. Chapter 19, page 211 of Volume 1 of Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. Yippee! Misery. Everybody wants to be my enemy. Do you know? We're gonna get started there. Oh god. Oh shit, my tea has been steeping for way too long. 1 second. I was trying to figure it out. And then it went to shit. I don't know how to change. I forget. As soon as I do something in my OBS, I set shit up. I'm like, okay, I'm never touching it again, and then I forget immediately how to do stuff. So that's fun. Also, I would like to apologize for the background noise. The vent is being particularly grainy today. I don't know why. It's just, it likes to be a bit silly. Yeah. What was I talking about? Right, I'm gonna be moving my setup real soon, so it shouldn't be an issue in the future. Just deal with it for today, okay? Deal with it. And now, without further ado, we shall start. Oh, I'm gonna get more comfy and cozy before I start reading. But yeah, we're reading. Yippee! All right, let's get started. Let me pull up my book. Can you believe it? Anyway. Last time there was a lot of scheming, I believe. It shows my benevolence as your legitimate spouse teaching you. Oh, the other guy that liked him. Oh my god, I forgot about that. That's crazy. Okay. Oh no, this guy just doesn't let up. Alright, chapter 19, let's go. Changyang became a regular at the Marquis of Nanan's residence. Every 3 days, he headed to Qingdai Pavilion to take Lu Chaosong's pulse, and then to Lanfeng Pavilion for a short visit. He even brought Lin Qingyu gifts from time to time. Naturally, Changyang was overjoyed to see his Xishong so often. Every time they met, however, young Marcus Lu was always at Lin Qingyu's side, acting as if he and Changyang had developed a deep kinship. He seemed happier than Lin Qingyu to see Changyang as if he were the Xishong. Changyang didn't even have the chance to speak privately to Lin Qingyu, let alone explain his plan. Before visiting the Marquis's residence today, Changyang had lined up for an hour in front of the capital's most popular pastry shop for 2 cases of plum blossom cakes, his Xishong's favorite. The moment he stepped through the gates of Lanfeng Pavilion carrying the cases, he heard Lu Wancheng's hearty laughter amid a cacophony of chicken squawks. You're here again, Shidi? Your presence is enough. Why bring gifts? Come on in. Wait, who is this? Wait, Shidi. Wait, that was the other guy. Wait, that was Mr. Emo bitch, right? You're here again, Shidi? Your presence. Why bring gifts? Come on in. I guess. Hot chicken. I suppose. I use you. Before Changyang got a proper look at the scene in the yard, a colorful blur whipped past his eyes. He froze. When he came back to his senses, a chicken feather drifted from the sky and happened to land right on his head. With that feather in his hair, he looked like a filial peasant selling himself by the road to pay for his father's funeral. Oh my god. Changyang froze once again. Young Marcus, you're cockfighting. That should have been the name of this stream instead. Lu Wancheng said with a smile. Only now did Changyang get a proper look at what had flown past. A listless rooster with half its feathers gone. That fight had evidently been its final act. It collapsed on the floor, barely breathing. Its attacker, another rooster, stood proudly by Lu Wancheng's feet, tossing its head back with poise. I hate that. Looking at the chicken feathers all over the ground, Changyang couldn't help but feel bitter resentment. Oh heavens, why did Shishong, a man comparable to a god or immortal, need to marry an aristocrat wastrel? With nothing going for him but his good looks. Lu Wancheng's frivolousness strengthened Changyang's resolve to save his Shishong from misery. Greetings, young Marcus. Where is my Shishong? He said that I was making too much noise and went out for a walk. He should be back soon. Lu Wancheng looked at the door and smiled. Just when we were talking about him. What, sorry, I got distracted because I need my braces. I was like, that's the wrong hand. God damn it. Where's the other one? Where's the other one? Where's my other brace? Where's my other brace? I don't know. What's supposed to? What else was there? I don't know what it is. I guess I'll have to suffer. Lin Qingyu had taken Huan Tong along to the garden to bury several jars of herbs under a tree, and he now returned only to witness the hubbub in Lanfang Pavilion. It made his eyes twitch. It was his fault. The medicine he'd given to Lu Wancheng had worked too well. The weather also grew warmer as the days passed, allowing Lu Wancheng to regain enough strength to have fun around Lanfang Pavilion, turning it into a chaotic mess. Lu Wancheng stepped forward, facing Lin Qingyu's icy gaze. You came back at the perfect time, he said with a smile. Our Xiaoshidi is here. This is Lu Wancheng. I keep getting them mixed up, and it is so confusing. Oh no. After a pause, Changyang said, Shishong. Lin Qingyu looked at the crown of Changyang's head. Why did you put a chicken feather in your hair? Lu Wancheng looked sideways and rather unceremoniously burst out laughing. Changyang felt more awkward than ever. He quickly plucked the feather out and said, still embarrassed, I bought you 2 cases of plum blossom cakes, Shishong. You can have them later. Lin Qingyu inclined his head. Thank you. You came back too late, Qingyu. Lu Wancheng bent and picked up the big rooster that had won many victories. You didn't get to see how courageous my little chick was in battle. I didn't want to, Lin Qingyu said coolly. If you've had your fun, tell them to clean up the yard. Anyone would laugh at this horrible mess. From the corner of his eye, Lin Qingyu glanced at the rooster in Lu Wancheng's arms, then changed the topic. Actually, that rooster looks familiar. You know it? Lu Wancheng asked. I think so. Lin Qingyu pondered for a moment. I think it did the bows with me in your stead on our wedding day. Oh my god. I fucking forgot about that. You remember that? Lu Wancheng sounded shocked. I remember everything my eyes see. Speechless, Lu Wancheng looked down at the rooster in his arms, mixed emotions visible on his face. Changyang gazed at the rooster as well, his eyes unexpectedly containing a hint of envy. Give me 1 second. I heard the gate. I'm gonna be right back. Literally right now. Just don't worry about it. Never mind, it'll be another second. I can read another paragraph or two. What was I doing? Where was I? I'm not even gonna be remember. Lu Wancheng handed the rooster to Huan Tong. Go ask around. Wait, no, this is launch. I'm fine. Go ask around. I want to know whether it was this rooster that did the ceremony with Qingyu, he ordered. As Changyang had expected, today was another occasion where the three of them remained gathered together, and he couldn't find the chance to speak with Lin Qingyu alone. Since Lin Qingyu wasn't allowed to be around a man from outside his family for too long, Changyang couldn't very well lengthen his visit. After a brief conversation, he was forced to say his goodbyes. Under such time constraints, he couldn't tell his Xishang his plan, so he went for the next best alternative, which was to recount tales from when he and Lin Qingyu had traveled with their shifu. They'd rowed boats in a river in Jiangnan and walked around in the countryside of Shu, savoring authentic treats at local farms. One winter, they were delayed after saving wait, I have to pause again. No. Maybe. Yeah. BRB. Okay, I am back. We are back to reading now. Yippee! just straight back in. We're on page 215, by the way. Yippee! saving authentic treats at local farms. One winter, they were delayed after saving an injured hunter, which forced them to stay at a rundown temple. In the bitter end of year in the bitter end of year weather, faced with chill winds howling from the north, Changyang and Lin Qingyu, together with the Shifu, another Shishong, and a servant boy, huddled around a fire for warmth. Shifu's heart had ached for them, so he'd removed his coat and covered them with it. As Changyang told his stories, he kept observing Lu Wancheng's expression. Whatever he said, the young Marcus always seemed interested. He kept asking enthusiastically, "What happened after that?" And, "Really?" Or he'd lament, "Ah, they're human after all," or sigh, "Such is life." Lin Qingyu had enough. "How is Lu Chaosong faring?" he interrupted Changyang. Changyang answered, "The third young master is on the brink of recovery, but second young lady said she wants him nursed back to full health, so she had instructed me to continue coming over every 3 days to take his pulse. Based on the results of that, I'll prescribe medicine for health and well-being." Lin Qingyu and Lu Wancheng traded looks, both knowing what was on the other's mind, despite not voicing it. "It's getting late," Lin Qingyu said. "You should head back soon, Shiri." Changyang was quite reluctant. "Then I'll visit you some other time, Shishong." After Changyang's departure, Lin Qingyu said, "Lu Niantao knows about my connection with Changyang, yet she's having him treat Lu Chaosong regardless. I'm sure she's up to something." Lu Wancheng opened a case of sweets Changyang had brought. "She probably plans to use your shidi to her advantage." While Lin Qingyu contemplated the courses of action Lu Niantao might take, a certain person brewed a pot of tea without a care in the world. Seeing that, Lin Qingyu narrowed his eyes. "You're having a good time eating the pastries my shidi brought me." "You shouldn't be so stingy, Qingyu." Lu Wancheng picked up a plum blossom cake and took a small bite that he washed down with green tea. A smile slowly widened on his face. "I used to share whatever treats I received with my friends, those given by men and women alike. Good friends share good things with each other." "And who were those men and women?" Lin Qingyu asked. "That's right. You don't..." He's talking about his other life. Like an idiot. Lu Wancheng raised an eyebrow. "Huh. So you can have peers, but not me?" Lin Qingyu got straight to the point. "You were raised in solitude from childhood, with tutors who taught you reading and calligraphy at home. So you wouldn't have had peers. Even if you did, you wouldn't have had female peers." Lu Wancheng's expression dimmed. He was quiet for a while before saying slowly, "You seem to have a lot of questions for me, Physician Lin." Are they going to start role-playing right now? Oh, shit. "I haven't questioned you about anything," Lin Qingyu said calmly. "And I'm not asking you to tell me anything either, young Marcus." Lu Wancheng propped his chin on his hands. "You can ask. Perhaps I'll answer your questions truthfully." It was hard to discern from his tone whether he was sincere. Lin Qingyu paused. "I'll do without asking. I'm not interested." Rather than subjecting Lu Wancheng to a persistent interrogation from his end, Lin Qingyu would rather the young Marcus reveal things of his own volition. Even if Lin Qingyu didn't ask him questions, there was no guarantee that Lu Wancheng would tell him the truth. Even if Lin Qingyu did ask him questions. Did I say that? I don't know. Lu Wancheng watched Lin Qingyu for a while before smiling and changing the topic. "Shall we have dinner together today, Qingyu? I had the kitchens cook the rooster." "The one that lost?" Okay. Lin Qingyu went with the change of topic, asking casually, "Which one?" That's what I thought. "What? Huh? The one that completed the wedding ceremony with you." Oh my god, this bitch is salty as fuck. Lin Qingyu found that strange. How did it offend you? Lu Wancheng blinked. The sight of it just annoyed me. Lin Qingyu sneered. You killed it the moment it was no use. You killed it the moment it was of no use to you. If you're so capable, why didn't you get up and complete the ceremony with me that day? Lu Wancheng was momentarily lost for words. That was my fault? One second. That's a scene break. That's a scene. How can he get jealous of a fucking chicken? What is with this guy? Anyway, continuing. 3 days later, Changyang visited the Marcus's residence to take Lu Chaosong's pulse as usual. Lu Chaosong seemed short of patience. He kept rushing the process and left hastily afterward, not even asking Changyang for the results. Younger brother probably has something urgent to attend to, Lu Niantao said. I apologize for his lack of decorum, Physician Chang. Changyang replied, Don't worry about it, second young lady. Third young master is physically well now. He can resume his usual schedule. Lu Niantao nodded, smiling. That's all thanks to your hard work, Physician Chang. If he's well, he won't trouble you with visiting here every 3 days from now on. Changyang paused for a moment before saying dispiritedly, I'll take my leave now, then. After Changyang left, Lu Niantao called her most trusted servant girl over and gave her an order. Follow Physician Chang, but make sure he doesn't notice you tailing him. If something out of the ordinary happens, report back to me immediately. She's so sneaky. Entering the residence of a family as noble as the Marquis of Nanan's wasn't easy. Changyang knew very well that this might be his last chance. If he missed it, who knew how long he'd have to wait for another? After going back and forth, Changyang made his decision and wrote something on a slip of paper, using the brush he always carried with him. As he worried over how he could deliver the note to Lin Qingyu, he saw Huan Tong walking toward the yard, carrying 2 earthenware jars of medicine. Changyang stopped him without hesitation. Lin Qingyu used to take Huan Tong with him when he traveled, so Changyang knew the servant quite well. Huan Tong tucked away the slip of paper Changyang handed him, saying, Don't worry, Chang Gongzi. Gongzi. I'll be sure to deliver it. You must ensure that no one else learns about this, especially not the young Marcus, Changyang reminded him. Despite seeming hesitant, Huan Tong acquiesced. Sure. When Han Tong returned to Lanfeng Pavilion, Lin Qingyu and Lu Wancheng were sitting by the window. They were in the middle of a game of Wei Qi. Lu Wancheng had already lost 7 games in a row, and Lin Qingyu mocked him, saying that even a chicken could play better than that. Lu Wancheng pressed a piece into the board. I merely studied how to play for a short while when I was a kid. This was already a decent game as far as I'm concerned. How humble of you, Lin Qingyu sneered. It would be some time before the game ended, but Changyang was in a rush, so Huan Tong leaned down and whispered in Lin Qingyu's ear. Young master, I have something to tell you. Lin Qingyu frowned and drew back. You can just say it. Huan Tong gave Lu Wancheng a look and started reluctantly. But say it. Lin Qingyu and Lu Wancheng had long since been forced into the same boat. There was nothing that happened in the Marcus's residence, Lin Qingyu couldn't discuss in front of Lu Wancheng. Once his young master had given that order, Huan Tong said loudly, Chang Gongzi told me to deliver something to my young master and to make sure that the young Marcus didn't notice. Lin Qingyu was lost for words. Lu Wancheng tossed a piece onto the board. All right, he drawled. I'm a bit angry now. If Changyang had tried making advances in front of him, he would have found it entertaining, but such underhanded, secretive tricks were seriously out of line. "What is it?" Lin Jingyu asked. Huan Tong took out a slip of paper, and Lin Qingyu unfolded it in front of Lu Wancheng. It was nothing but 5 words. "Meet me in the backyard." The moon shines from above the willow tree. 2 lovers promise to meet as the sun sets, Lu Wancheng recited sarcastically. Will Physician Lin meet his Xiaoshidi there? I want to know. I'm on the edge of my seat. Footnote from Song of Hawthorne Lantern Festival, written during the Song Dynasty by poet Ouyang Shu. The text is really small, guys, okay? Lin Qingyu could guess why Changyang had asked him to meet in private, so they could leave the Marquis's residence together. After some thought, he said, I'm sure Lu Niantao and the others all know about everything Shidi has said and done in the residence. I think I know what her intentions are. You didn't know until now? Ha! Lu Wancheng laughed curtly. Even a blind man could see that Xiao Shidi is enamored with you, so of course someone else would want to use that to their advantage. Can you stop with the attitude? Lin Qingyu snapped. Lu Wancheng's voice rose. No! He's going to take my wife away from me, and you want me to be fucking civil? Don't take my wife. Aren't we merely sworn brothers? Good friends who share meals? Where does this claim that he's trying to take your wife come from? That rendered Lu Wancheng speechless. He calmed, and only then did he realize that, shockingly, Lin Qingyu had a point. Right. How could his good friend, his sworn brother, make him a cuckold? As long as he saw his wife as a good friend, he'd never be cuckolded. Okay. Oh, okay, Wancheng. Oh, okay. You keep telling yourself that. Is this the cuck arc? Lu Wancheng reclined on his chair again, saying idly, You're right. Pretend I didn't say anything. Lin Qingyu scoffed. Respond to Changyang's message, he told Huan Tong. Tell him to leave the residence and never come back. Oh, shit! Ah, shit! I love him. Wait! Lu Wancheng's gaze darkened as if he were plotting something. Lin Qingyu watched a mischievous grin suddenly appear across his face. My good friend, he said. I think you should meet your Shidi after all. Lin Qingyu raised an eyebrow. Why? Scene break. It's about to go down, I guess. Oh no, I hate that. There are so many scene breaks in this chapter. Also, this chapter is pretty long. We are on page 221. A short while later, Huan Tong and Hua Lu left Lanfeng Pavilion. One headed over to meet Changyang, who had been waiting a long time, while the other went to Manyue Pavilion. Finding Changyang, Huan Tong told him that Lin Qingyu had already read his note. However, various people came and went from the Marquis's residence during the day, so it wasn't a good time to meet. If Changyang could wait in the residence for 2 more hours, he could meet Lin Qingyu after the sky darkened. Obviously, Changyang had no objections to this, so Huan Tong led him to an uninhabited structure that was part of a side wing of the residence. Please wait here, Chang Gongzi. Young master will come when the time is right. Changyang waited from dusk till nightfall. Huan Tong even delivered a meal to him midway through. The summer equinox had passed not long ago, and it was getting hotter by the day. After nightfall, the remaining heat gradually dissipated, and a cool breeze blew from time to time. If only Changyang could view the yard's moonlit lotus blossoms and listen to the frogs with that beautiful man by his side. Only then would this beautiful night and its scenery not go to waste. Unfortunately, the 2 beautiful men in Lanfeng Pavilion certainly wouldn't be in the mood for such leisurely pleasures tonight. threesome? Sorry. Anyway, Lin Qingyu pushed Lu Wancheng's wheelchair until they left Lanfeng Pavilion. Then he entrusted the wheelchair to Hualu. I'll take my leave. Lu Wancheng nodded. Go. The young Marcus watched Lin Qingyu walk away. As his eyes followed the aloof silhouette bathed in moonlight, he felt somewhat uncomfortable. He attributed the feeling to the possessiveness men tended to experience. If he reined it in a bit, he'd be fine. It felt like when someone had borrowed his favorite toys when he was a child. The toys had consistently been on his mind. He'd fretted that they would get dirty. Sorry, he's getting attached. This is so Apothecary Diaries core. I love it. Wait. Would the simple-minded Zhao Shiri confess grandly to Lin Qingyu on the spur of the moment, then crowd Lin Qingyu against the wall, grab his waist, and force a kiss on him? He wouldn't, would he? Fuck. As Lu Wancheng's mind wandered, Hualu asked, Eldest young master, where are we going? Knowing that he should focus, Lu Wancheng stopped letting his imagination run wild. The backyard, he said. While the moon still shone brightly in the night sky, Lin Qingyu passed the backyard to arrive at the building where Changyang waited. He knocked lightly on the door 3 times, and it was opened from within. Shishong, Changyang called excitedly. We'll talk indoors, Lin Qingyu said in a low voice. Inside the house, only an oil lamp the servants used was lit, and it only illuminated a small area around them. Changyang stared unabashedly at the man across from him. Under the faint light, flickering flames danced in his Shishong's eyes. Gazing into them for some time, he felt his breath turn hot, almost fervid. Before his staring had satisfied him, Lin Qingyu urged him to get to the point. Go on. Looking at his Shishong's slightly parted lips, Changyang lost his train of thought for a moment. Then he mustered his courage, saying in one breath, Leave this place with me, Shishong. As I expected, Lin Qingyu sighed softly, then calmly asked, Where do you want to take me? Anywhere, as long as it's away from the Marxist residence at the capital. Changyang's eyes shone with high hopes. We can go to Shifu and live with him, secluded in the mountains. Wouldn't that be nice? Lin Qingyu massaged a spot between his eyebrows. My marriage with Lu Wancheng was ordained by His Majesty. If I leave without a care, what will happen to my family? I considered that as well, said Changyang. Shishong, do you remember how Shifu was always trying to make a pill that could induce the appearance of death? Bitch, you're trying to fake your death? Oh my god, you're so... Okay. This really is Apothecary Diaries core. That finally piqued Lin Qingyu's interest a bit. Back when he was traveling with his Shifu, they had come across a young woman who'd hanged herself from a tree. As they saved her, she told them, between sobs, about what she'd been through. Her gambling addict father had sold her to a local nobleman as a concubine, and she'd been subject to horrible beatings and humiliation every day since. The nobleman had also told her that he'd make her family pay with their lives if she ever ran away. Left with no choice, she could only resort to taking her life. From that day on, their Shifu had wanted to make such a pill. Has Shifu succeeded? Lin Qingyu asked. Changyang nodded enthusiastically. Yes, he named it too. It's called the departure pill. He also passed along the formula to me. Unfortunately, even though I have the recipe, I'm not skilled enough to make the pill. But I know you could, Shishong. So you want me to detach from this situation by feigning death? Yes, as long as everyone thinks you're dead, they won't cause your family any trouble. Good point, Lin Qingyu said calmly. But what would the value of being a dead man be? Changyang answered without a moment's hesitation. If you regain your freedom, you can do anything you want. Isn't that enough? Anything I want. Lin Qingyu scoffed, as if he found Changyang's naivety amusing. You said you knew me, didn't you? Yet you don't have any idea what I truly want. I don't want to be an ordinary physician. If I am to be a physician, I must be the best there is. I must peruse all the medical books in the world and have a never-ending supply of rare, precious herbs at my disposal. Only the Imperial Academy of Medicine could let me do that. I'm not averse to opulence and wealth, nor to power and influence. I enjoy the sight of people kneeling in front of me and trembling in fear. Did you know all that? Changyang stared at Lin Qingyu dumbfounded, as if his Shishong were a stranger. You knew nothing, yet you speak of taking me with you. Isn't that utterly laughable? Lin Qingyu stood. I'll have Huan Tong show you out of the residence. Jesus Christ. Thanks for the hydrate headband. That was brutal. This bitch is mean. My god. Lin Qingyu's response had completely defied Changyang's expectations. He thought of his Shishong as a righteous man who had great virtue and an open heart. Wealth and power seemed incongruous with Lin Qingyu. Changyang had yet to come to terms with everything, but when his Shishong was about to leave, he couldn't help voicing his thoughts. Can young Marcus Lu give you all those things you want, then, Shishong? Lin Qingyu froze in his tracks. Young Marcus Lu doesn't have much time. This is him. Young Marcus Lu doesn't have much longer to live, Changyang continued. He whiles his time away aimlessly, waiting for death to befall him. How is he different from the other insouciant sons of wealthy families? INSOUCIANT. It's also split between the lines, so it's confusing. I can't. Insouciant. Given his lack of virtue, how can he possibly? How do you expect him to act then? Lin Qingyu interrupted icily. Ooh, he bitched her. He's about to be so much more mean now. He was going easy on you. Changyang was stunned. Shishong? You know very well that Lu Wancheng is afflicted with a terminal illness and is near his last breath. You saw him chat jovially with you, seemingly without a care. But do you know how much medicine he has to take, or how many needles are jabbed into his skin daily? Lin Qingyu asked. He has to catch his breath after walking short distances, and a slight cold can put him into a deep, comatose sleep that he might or might not wake up from. When he suffers a coughing fit, he doesn't sleep well for the entire night. Still, he stifles his coughs because he worries that he'll wake me up. What do you expect someone like him to do? Take the imperial exams, join the army, and serve the country? He only has 6 months left. Why can't he live a carefree life as a wealthy family's son in those last 6 months? I'm gonna cry. I love him. I'm gonna cry. I love him so much. Lin Qingyu rarely spoke so much. Of course he recognized Lu Wancheng's laziness, insouciance, and frivolousness. He too disliked how Lu Wancheng didn't give a damn about anything. He taunted the other man quite a fair amount over it. However, that didn't mean that others could look down on Lu Wancheng. After a drawn-out silence, Changyang asked in a low voice, Shishong, do you have feelings for him? I have no particular attraction to men, Lin Qingyu answered without hesitation. Neither does he. If I have to define what he and I are, Lin Qingyu chuckled lightly. Perhaps I can say that we're kindred spirits who were forcibly bound to each other through marriage. No particular attraction to men, Changyang repeated with a bitter smile. I get it. It's me who... I troubled you, Xishang. You aren't important enough to trouble me yet, Lin Qingyu wanted to say, but upon seeing Changyang's despondent face, he wound up swallowing his words. Oh, that's rough, buddy. Oh, no. Changyang took a deep breath before taking a sheet of paper from his medical kit. Forcing a smile, he said, "This is the formula for the departure pill. Please take it, Xishang. I'll take my leave." Lin Qingyu nodded slightly. Huantong, show our guest out. As Changyang went outside, he looked up at the moon shining brightly in the sky and heaved a long sigh. He'd only embarked on this long journey to the capital for his Xishang's sake. Since the person he'd faced was no longer the man he'd fallen for, it was probably time for him to leave. No. Xishang had never been the man in his imagination. Rather, he'd forcibly impressed his own desires on his mental image of Xishang. Xishang was right. It was utterly laughable of him. God, that word trips me up. As Changyang stewed in his despair, Huantong said, "Cheer up, Changgongzi. Someone like my young master would never let himself be confined in this horrible Marcus's residence for long." Changyang chuckled self-deprecatingly. "I thought too highly of myself." Huantong patted Changyang's shoulder. "Let's go, Changgongzi. If we dally any longer, we'll miss it." "Miss what?" Changyang asked. Huantong laughed. "The young Marcus knew that you'd probably end up feeling sad tonight, so he invited you to a show for entertainment." Oh man, this is a fucking humiliation ritual. Like, what the fuck? This poor guy. Oh no. It's a scene break. It's still the same chapter, but it's a scene break. The night gradually darkened. A shadowy cloud silently blocked the moonlight, and one after another, the manor's lamps flickered out. Unless one had a lantern in hand, the paths under the resplendent canopy of trees in the backyard were utterly dark. Lu Chaosong and Auntie Chu hid behind one tree, staring at two silhouettes beside the pond. "Are you sure it's them?" Lu Chaosong asked. "Certainly," said Auntie Chu. "Physician Chang was wearing clothes of that color today. The young lord was wearing white too." "Go," Lu Chaosong snarled. "You can't let them run away." Auntie Chu, who dashed out from behind the trees. Auntie Chu dashed out from behind the trees. She was incompetent at most things, but she did have a loud voice. If she cried out at the top of her lungs, half the residents could hear her. I'm not gonna be loud. "Oh my, isn't this the young lord? Who are you viewing the moon with on the sly in the middle of the night instead of waiting at the foot of the sickly young Marcus's bed?" Her booming voice came unexpectedly. The man in white slipped, startled, and almost fell into the water. Thankfully, the man beside him, who wore blue, quickly helped him steady himself. "Who's talking nonsense over there?" The man in blue barked sternly. When Auntie Chu heard that voice, her legs buckled. How could that be the Marcus? Stumbling, Auntie Chu tried to run back to where she'd rushed out from, but Hualu's sudden appearance stopped her. "Why the rush, Auntie Chu?" Hualu asked loudly before peeking behind the trees. "Oh, their young master is here too. Eldest young master and master viewing the moon over there. Don't you want to have a look at it as well?" That suggestion forced Lu Chaosong to stop in the middle of his attempt to sneak away. He cursed internally. Hualu's voice wasn't as piercing as Auntie Chu's. Still, the Marcus already heard her. The Marquis was staying in Mianyu. I don't know how to pronounce these words. The Marquis was staying in Mianyu Pavilion that night, as usual. Lady Pan had waited on him as he changed into his casual clothes. Then, seeing the moon shining brightly outside, she told him that the lotuses in the pond were blooming nicely as well, and she'd asked whether he wanted to take a walk by the pond and enjoy the moon. The Marquis, a scholar who appreciated the moonlight, couldn't bear to let the picturesque evening go to waste, so he headed to the backyard with Lady Pan. Pan? Only to bump into his eldest son, his eldest son? Brother? What? Who'd also come to enjoy the Marquis. Oh, okay. Never mind. Oh, shit. Wait, guys. This is the guy. He's fucked up. Oh, he's done. Chat is hi chat. This is real. He's done for. Auntie Chu and okay, yeah, no. You're my one and you're done. Sorry, I got distracted. What was I doing? Reading. The Marquis, a scholar who appreciated the moonlight, couldn't bear to let the picturesque evening go to waste, so he'd headed to the backyard with Lady Pan, only to bump into his eldest son, who'd also come to enjoy the moon. Father and son couldn't often chat with each other, thus Lady Pan, in a considerate gesture, excused herself by saying that she had to prepare food, then left them alone. Unprompted, Lu Wancheng asked about the Emperor's wife. The Empress, who was constantly concerned about her sister's only child, often sent eunuchs over to see how he was doing and provided him with nourishing foods and herbs. The Marquis told Lu Wancheng to visit the palace and thank the Empress personally, since his health had improved. Abruptly, someone had yelled in the distance, giving Lu Wancheng such a shock that he almost fell into the water. The Marquis knew that his eldest son was frail and thus couldn't handle sudden frights well. Indeed, the slightest misstep could leave him bedridden for life. Noticing how sickly pale Lu Wancheng looked after stumbling, even his lips were bloodless, the Marquis boomed in rage. "Who's talking nonsense over there? Get over here!" The polite Hualu then forced Lu Chaosong and Auntie Lu to head over. "What are you two trying to do, making such a racket in the backyard at night?" The Marquis snapped. "I'm here to enjoy the moon as well, Father," Lu Chaosong said, bracing himself. Lu Wancheng smiled weakly. And rather than any of the courtesans in your pavilion, guys, I can read. This is the fourth time I'm reading this line, but I can read. I can do it this time. I can do it. And rather than any of the courtesans in your pavilion, you brought Auntie Chu instead. You must really be in the mood. What does that mean? Bro, what? Lu Chaosong knew that he was in the wrong, so he could only endure the sardonic remark. The Marquis looked at Auntie Chu. "What were you yelling about just now?" Auntie Chu answered rapidly. "While keeping the third young master company as he enjoyed the moon, Marquis, I saw two people by the pond from afar. I thought they were the young lord and physician Chang. I can't be blamed for my mistake. Everyone in the household knows that they once studied medicine under the same mentor and have a close relationship. They see each other often. That's why I mistook you for them." Sternly, the Marquis asked, "Is this true?" "Physician Chang visits Lanfeng Pavilion to meet me, not Qing Yu," Lu Wancheng replied calmly. "The first time we met, Physician Chang and I became fast friends, and we always have pleasant conversations together. It was I who asked him to visit Lanfeng Pavilion, often to relieve me of my boredom." Hualu added, "That's right. Whenever Physician Chang comes to Lanfeng Pavilion, it's to chat with eldest young master. Sometimes the Lord isn't even present." What? Shut the fuck up. The Marcus relaxed somewhat. Who is this physician Chang? He's been here to treat third younger brother's kidney deficiency, Lu Wancheng replied evenly. Kidney? The Marcus jabbed his finger at Lu Chaosong's nose. Explain, he growled. He'd known that Lu Chaosong had fallen sick, but not with what. And given Lu Chaosong's past behavior, of course anyone would connect a kidney deficiency to his sexual escapades. What? What's wrong? What's wrong with the title? It was a good title. I have to keep reading because the ad's going to start in 4 minutes. This chapter's almost done, so I... Shut up. Lu Chaosong flushed crimson, but he couldn't lose his temper while face to face with the Marcus. You must understand, father. I was merely afflicted with a slight cold. The Marcus didn't believe him, naturally. Still, he couldn't very well interrogate his son about such an indecent matter in front of the servants. Come with me to the study, he ordered, then turned to leave, enraged. Father! Lu Chaosong exclaimed. Lu Nyantao had painstakingly reminded him beforehand to drive home Lin Qingyu and Chang Yang's relationship, whatever the other parties said or did. Even if that relationship wasn't real, Lu Chaosong still needed to arouse suspicion. Little had he known, Lu Wancheng would turn the tables on him. Lu Chaosong would undoubtedly be subject to a nasty scolding, and he wanted to ensure that Lu Wancheng suffered as well. Lu Chaosong stumbled over to stand in front of Lu Wancheng, grinning fiercely. A man as beautiful as sister-in-law must have captured many hearts. You've turned a blind eye to that this time. Oh wait, no, this is not... Wait, what? Yeah, you've turned a blind eye to that this time, eldest brother, but will you still be able to do so next time? However magnanimous you may be, I don't think you like that your wife is secretly admired by many, do you? So you do know that he's my wife, third younger brother. Since he's mine, let me make a request of everyone. Lu Wancheng smiled, and his eyes flitted past the group's faces. Then he gazed vaguely toward Chang Yang, and his tone changed abruptly, his words cloaking a nice lethal edge. Don't you dare lay a finger on him. Don't even dream of it. He's possessive. That's the other chapter. He's possessive. He's possessive. The title of the book or the chapter or wait, what do you mean? It's Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. What do you mean? What's wrong with it? That's the end of the chapter, and I'm just gonna be waiting for the ad to run for a bit, but we're gonna take a tiny little break now and then continue in a bit. That was a long ass chapter. That was one chapter. This whole time is almost an hour for one chapter. What the fuck? And I was reading pretty well today. Jesus. Thrice Married to a Salted Fish? Yeah, Thrice Married to a Salted Fish. What's wrong with that? It's good. It's good. It's good. You want me to read the back of it? 10 years of exhaustive study and sleepless nights have suddenly been rendered meaningless for aspiring imperial physician Lun Qingyu. In the midst of his education, he's instructed to set everything aside and marry Lu Wancheng, this sickly son of the Marcus. All the hopes that, I can't read all that right now. I've been reading too much. But I'm digging the possessiveness. I love it. I love it. He's such a... That's his wife. That's his wife. I miss my wife. That's his... Nobody can take his wife from him. Drunk off my ass word salad sounding BS. Yeah, okay. Toss a dictionary into a bingo machine and you get that. Awesome. It's good. It's good. We're a bit over halfway through, which is kind of sad because this is the 9th stream reading it, and we're on chapter 20. That means we've been doing like 2 chapters each stream, which is a little sad, but it's okay. It's okay. I've been quite busy, and doing stuff. Ad sucks to suck. Sucks to suck. Guess you'll have to sub. See ya. See ya, suckers. I actually need to like stand up and stretch a little bit. I'm gonna do that while we're still here. I'm not even gonna BRB. Ugh. Ugh. Oh, I look stupid holding my book like that. Let me put the book down for a second. Check out my hands. Oh, you know what I need to do? I need to find my other brace. Where the fuck did it go? Huh? Huh? Is it upstairs? I think upstairs. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's okay. Actually, I am gonna check real quick. No. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to. I'm sitting back down. Yippee! You know, normally at this time I would pee, but I don't have to pee. So, I guess we're just here. I don't have to pee right now. How's your day going? How's your Wednesday treating you? I was recording earlier, that's why I'm singing. That's why this song is stuck in my head. It's crazy. Oh, wow. Sorry, I'm getting like, my brain is shutting down a little bit. Maybe I should do a couple of jumping jacks. Give me a second. I need to jump. Everyone do it with me. I'm tired. Ugh. That's exhausting. That's exhausting. What am I supposed to do? It's also too hot today. It's also too hot and the AC is not very good. And I turned, oh man. Oh man. Okay, it's okay. It's okay. Ad is done. We're gonna start reading again. Okay, is everyone okay with that? Are we ready? Are we ready for more book? You know, I'm kind of sad. I'm not kind of sad. I'm really sad that these don't have chapter titles because it's so easy to title streams that way. Off of the... Oh, I'm out of breath. Let me catch my breath. Jesus Christ. Oh. Do you guys know how to do breathing exercises? Because I don't. I'm really bad at it. I don't know how to... I also don't think they apply to me very well because my body is weird. Okay. 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 I gotta do it. We are on chapter 20. Is everyone here? Can I have a roll call, please? Attendance? So is everybody. Yeah, but my body is weirder than yours. So good. Amazing. Thank you, Apple. Okay. We're on chapter 20, page 233. Are we ready to read now? I'm ready. As soon as he and Chang Yang went their separate ways, Lin Qingyu returned to Lanfeng Pavilion. It was Hua Lu who told him what transpired in the backyard. A while later, Mianye Pavilion also delivered a message that the Marquis had interrogated Lu Chaosong overnight. At first, Lu Chaosong refused to admit to anything. The Marquis then called over the servant boy, who was always with Lu Chaosong, and questioned him as well, only to discover that for the past month, Lu Chaosong had spent most of his nights with prostitutes. Exposed, Lu Chaosong claimed that he'd only sought the services of women who sold their skills, not their bodies. He said he'd merely done things like recite poetry, savor wine, or enjoy chin music. He'd never crossed the line with them. Sure. Hearing the word them, however, absolutely infuriated the Marquis. He slapped Lu Chaosong across the face, and ordered him to reflect on his wrongdoings in the ancestral hall for 1 day as punishment. In addition, he'd be sequestered for a month. The Marquis also vented his fury on Lady Liang, reproaching her for failing to properly parent her son. What about you, dude? What about you? How could she possibly manage to manage the Marquis's vast residence when she couldn't even wrangle her son? Bitch, you're a hypocrite. That's all? Lin Qingyu asked. Was there anything else? Huan Tong shook his head. No. Lin Qingyu sneered. They're always either forced to reflect or sequestered. How boring. Young lord. Hua Lu rushed from the bedroom. Young Marquis, Young master seems ill again. It was now the peak of summer. Lu Wancheng, wanting to cool himself, had devoured a few red grapes soaked in well water. Half a day later, his fever... he'd developed... Guys... Half a day later, he'd developed a fever. It was low, thankfully, so he was still conscious, albeit shockingly pale. Why did you do that, man? Don't do that. Lin Qingyu took his pulse, then asked, were those grapes good? Lu Wancheng was nestled in his blankets, and his gaze held a hint of resentment. They were, so I couldn't help it. I love him. Lin Qingyu's eyes narrowed. Don't be mad. Lu Wancheng tugged Lin Qingyu's sleeve with all the strength he had left. I know I screwed up, he coughed. Lin Qingyu looked down at Lu Wancheng's bony hand, and the trace of annoyance that was left in him dissipated. Next time you eat anything you shouldn't, I'll stop caring for you. Lu Wancheng chuckled, sounding tired. What a terrifying threat. I'm so scared. Lin Qingyu didn't bother arguing with the sick man. He sat at the table and wrote a prescription for Lu Wancheng. In bed, Lu Wancheng sighed. Why do I fall sick every time I try to be intimidating? Is it the heavens' way of telling me that I'm only fit to lie about? Oh, that hit too close to home. No, Lin Qingyu refuted him mercilessly. The heavens are telling you that you're not to eat anything cold. Lu Wancheng's bout of sickness brought a period of peace to Lanfeng Pavilion. One day, Lady Pan came over to visit the sick young Marquis. Lu Wancheng had just taken his medicine and begun to rest, so he wasn't in a position to welcome any guests. Lin Qingyu and Lady Pan stay in the front hall for some tea, where they ended up discussing some of the household's general affairs. Lu Chaosong had been supporting quite a few courtesans so that they could entertain him whenever he pleased. Once he was sequestered and thus couldn't leave the residence to indulge himself, he had no choice but to seek pleasure in those women. What? Embarrassingly, however, Qingdai Pavilion had long since spent more than it could afford, and despite the songs they sang and the tunes they played, the women weren't paid a single tael. Several had heard that Lady Pan and Lin Qingyu now managed the residence's affairs, so they sought Lady Pan and asked for their monthly allowances. The household has never paid courtesans a monthly allowance, Lady Pan told Lin Qingyu helplessly. They made ends meet through third young master's rewards, but now that he's short on funds too, where would he get extra money to reward them? Why didn't they come to me? Lin Qingyu casually asked. Lady Pan's servant girl pouted. As if they dare. They only made a scene in They only made a scene in Manye Pavilion because they found concubine Pan more approachable. Lin Qingyu contemplated that in silence. Lady Pan said nothing, afraid to disturb him. After a while, Lin Qingyu asked, If we don't pay them, what'll happen? Qingdai Pavilion can't provide for so many people, so they could only be sent away. But if we send them away, who else could entertain third younger brother? Lin Qingyu smiled calmly, almost benevolently, even. If he likes them, then I, his sister-in-law, should make him happy, shouldn't I? What is he doing? What is he scheming now? Well, this chapter is short. Lady Pan couldn't be sure about Lin Qingyu's perspective on the matter. She ventured tentatively. Young lord, do you intend to... Tell them that the Marquis's household doesn't support anyone who can't be of use. Qingdai Pavilion's monthly expenses have far surpassed the allowance it was given, and the Marquis just threw a fit over younger brother... What? And the Marquis just threw a fit over younger brother's kidney deficiency. In short, the household can no longer provide for them at all. What? The household can no longer provide for them all. At most, only half can stay. They themselves can decide whether they wish to remain. Lady Pan dared not think too deeply about this decision. In a low voice, she agreed. The courtesans Qingdai Pavilion supported were mostly orphan women. Since they had finally found a generous patron who allowed them to live comfortably in the Marquis's residence, which of them would want to leave if she wasn't forced to? Despite Liu Chaosong's licentiousness, he was quite picky and didn't take just anyone in. Most of the time, he just listened to the courtesans play music or had them attend to him and his guests. Those things made him look good. He only chose one to sleep with on occasion, which was why the Marquis and Marchioness could tolerate them in the residence. Since the women were Liu Chaosong's courtesans, they relied solely on his favor. Now that half would be sent away, they were forced to vie against each other for his affections. Oh. The next day, Lin Qingyu asked Huantong to dig out the jars of herbs buried under the tree. Those herbs were to be laid under the sun to dry for 3 days, then ground into powder and placed in an incense burner to be delivered to Jiang Sichuan. That incense had... guys, I'm gonna stop after this chapter because my brain decided it doesn't know how to read anymore. So I'll get through this chapter, but after that, I'm gonna be done. Okay, I've hit my limit. I've hit my limit. La 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 la. That incense had a rich fragrance that only dissipated after a long time. When Lin Qingyu finished making the incense, he went for a bath, changed into fresh garments, and returned to his room. Lu Wancheng was reading in bed. His infirmary wasn't quite as serious this time. What? His infirmity wasn't quite as serious this time. But it still took a toll on him. He didn't show any signs of recovery, but his condition hadn't worsened either. After a mere few days of this tepid affliction, his vitality, the result of the previous month's nourishment and rest, was almost drained. His lips and face were pale and devoid of rosiness, only his mirthful eyes remained unaffected. Every day, before Lu Wancheng went to sleep, Lin Qingyu took his pulse. Today was no exception. When Lu Wancheng caught a fleeting whiff of fragrance on Lin Qingyu, he asked, Have you been working with something aromatic? Lin Qingyu retracted his hand. No. You have. Lu Wancheng leaned closer, his nose twitching slightly. What is it? It smells really nice. Lin Qingyu frowned and pushed him away. It's not something you should breathe in. Lu Wancheng chuckled in understanding. Got it. It's poisonous. Lin Qingyu hesitated momentarily, but he didn't deny it. Now, here's the problem. Who do you plan to use on it? What? Oh, God. Now, here's a problem. Who do you plan to use it on? It must be someone who's slighted you recently. Lu Wancheng coughed twice. Lu Chaosong? Lin Qingyu didn't reply to that either. Lu Wancheng continued. You wrote a prescription a while ago, and when I asked what it was for, you said it was an aphrodisiac. You didn't lie to me, I gather. I recall that the household's courtesans can't leave the premise without permission. So if they need to buy anything from outside the residence, they enlist the help of a servant boy they know well. Lin Qingyu still said nothing. In conclusion, you want Lu Chaosong to die a most humiliating death atop a woman in the middle of coitus, just because he humiliated you. Lin Qingyu gulped. Looking forward, he said, calmly, Yes. So? You think he shouldn't die? That I'm being excessively cruel? Lu Wancheng chuckled. Maybe. Just a bit? He said deliberately. You can think whatever about it, Lin Qingyu retorted, his composure intact. Lu Chaosong's mortifying words about how you couldn't satisfy me humiliated you as well, and he also wanted to ruin my reputation through Changyang. Even if his wrongdoings didn't warrant death, I'll still feel joy when he dies, so I'm arranging it. I want to make myself happy. It's that simple. Oh, I love him. Oh, he's so murderous. Oh, he's so cute when he's murderous like this. What the fuck? He's like, maybe I agree it doesn't warrant death, but I kind of want to see him dead. God. This side of Lin Qingyu belied his appearance, and he'd never shown it to anyone else. His parents were gentle and kind-hearted. They'd never done anything to harm anyone else, even if it would have benefited them. Before marrying, Lin Qingyu had spent his time either with his parents or his mentor and fellow students, reading books by sages and wise men, which had made suppressing his darker side easy. After marrying into the Marquis of Nanan's family, however, the malice he couldn't reveal to anyone spilled out uncontrollably, like water surging from a broken dam. It was fortunate that he remained rational. He knew that acting carelessly in his situation would lead to his death. He'd been in a state until Lu Wancheng said that he liked it when Lin Qingyu did bad things. He'd been in that state. Oh my god. Oh, they're so nasty. The young Marquis even encouraged him and abetted him in his wrongdoings. It was Lu Wancheng who'd let him run wild, leading him to this point. What right did he have to accuse Lin Qingyu of being excessively cruel? Lu Wancheng said nothing. He merely watched Lin Qingyu in silence. Annoyance surged within Lin Qingyu. He shut his eyes, saying, If he follows his physician's orders and refrains from touching any of those women, he may not die. Finally, Lu Wancheng let out a chuckle. Qingyu, I expected nothing less from you. He marveled softly. Lu Wancheng's words sounded like praise. He seemed excited, mesmerized. His slightly deep voice made something in Lin Qingyu's chest relax. Lu Wancheng continued, But... Lin Qingyu's face, which had cleared, darkened again. How dare Lu Wancheng have any buts? Next time you're doing bad things, let me join in, all right? Lu Wancheng requested with a smile. Lin Qingyu's eyes widened. I told you I enjoy it when you do them.
as Lin Qingyu cast his gaze down, silent. His fluttering lashes seemed to convey what occupied his mind. All right, Qingyu? Lin Qingyu raised his head slowly, fixing his gaze on Lu Wancheng as he whispered, all right.
Oh. What the fuck? Is this foreplay? Murder foreplay? Oh, this is murder foreplay. Holy shit. Are you seeing this shit? Are you hearing this shit? This shit is crazy. This is more explicit than some shit I've read on AO3, and that's saying a lot. Yeah. Oh my god, I love that. That was the end of the chapter, if that wasn't clear. We will pick up on chapter 21 next time. For now, I will bid you adieu because I can't read anymore. Unfortunately, my throat has decided it wants to close up, like, right now, so, nice! Nice! Yippee! Right, I'm going to raid and, skedaddle. Let me find someone. I hope you enjoyed today. That was fun. Oh, Foxy's still alive? Alive? Still alive? Oh my god. Alright, let's raid Foxy. Have fun. Oh my god, it's been so long since the eras. The eras. Oh, no way. Okay, I'll do that. That was kind of weak. I think I'm just tired. But there you go. Go be nice to Foxy or be a menace. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. I'll see you later after this raid happens. After this raid. Yeah. Yippee. Yippee. Okay, we can go now. Okay. Have a nice rest of your day. Bye-bye.